You can earn a living this way. So if you want to survive, you want to earn a living, perfect. Just find a transactional relationship and have. But we look at it and say, no, you are far more valuable than just coming to the world and survive till you die. Just come pay bills and die. No, you need to create another relationship that gets to building people. Tell not build people. You must build a team. You must build a community. Of course, you must build an organization. So you want to have a purposeful life. You want to have a life of fulfillment. You must build a business family. So find one of them and build or more. So you must build this, or you must build a business family. So you build a family that you can always do business with and rely with. So this kind of relationship is different, and this relationship is transformational. What do you call it? Transformational. You must have a relationship that transforms people's life. And the skill to use is called leadership. Tenor leadership. And everyone can learn the skill of leadership. So with this relationship, you can actually earn a fortune. Tenor fortune. You can earn residual income. You can create a system with it, and money works for you. So we look at it and say the most important factor here is you. The most important factor here is me. Touch yourself and say me. Touch your neighbor, you. So you are the most important factor. So the moment, yeah, definitely. So the moment you grow yourself, everything will grow. The moment you don't, no money can never exceed your personal development. If you exceed that, you call lucky jump. Say no lucky jump. It will definitely come back. So yesterday we started talking about millionaires' reality, the fallacies, the greatest fallacy of all time, that you should work harder on something that is not working. Nam, it will go better. But today, we were supposed to talk about two things yesterday, the greatest fallacy and the millionaires' reality. So today, we're going to move straight to the millionaires' reality. Millionaires' reality. So what are the realities of millionaires? Why are millionaires millionaires? Why are they successful? Because of most of them are expose their brain to the opportunities, and they take advantage of opportunities. That's why they're successful. So definitely. So today, we're looking at the millionaires' reality, and I want to move straight to the business of the day and see how far we can go today. If you're excited about today's class, shall I? Definitely. So I'm very sure after today's class, you'll have more rethink, you have more value, you have more system to put in place, things to start working for you in the way you desire. And then definitely you must be very, very intentional about making difference in your financial life and the life of people around you. Oh my God. Okay. So, okay, no wahala. And we always say that everybody wants more. Yes or yes? Everyone wants to earn more. Everyone wants more. I don't know how I put it on my notes. Let me check it. I want to go the way it's structured on my journal. Okay, let's see. Okay, yes. So everybody wants to have more. They don't have more money, more car, more good relationship, more joy, more peace. If that is, you want more out of life. You want to have more out of life. So for you to have more in life, you have to definitely do more. They don't do more. You must have to do more. If you want more in life, you have to do more. You have to do more. Okay? Then for you to do more, you have to become more. For you to do more, you have to become more. Be more. So once you are more, and you can do more, and you can have more. Then to be more, you have to learn more. Then learn more. Perfect. So the target is to build organizations, build companies, build factories, build houses, collect rent. So a goal is something you become. Then become. A goal is something you become. A goal is something you become. Target is something you do what? Achieve. Target is something you achieve or you get. Target is something you achieve or you get. So a goal is something you become. And for you to become, you must be educated, because education gives you identity. Then identity. Education gives you identity. So if you have been educated as a doctor, you have an identity as a doctor. If you have been educated as an engineer, you have an identity as an engineer. If you have been educated as an entrepreneur, you have an identity. So everything boils from learning more. Then learn more. So you have to learn more to become more, for you to do more. Then do more. So achieve and get more results. So if you don't want education, you cannot become more. If you don't want to learn, all of us are where we are today because of the level of exposure we give to our brain. Your brain will not learn anything except the thing you seek. Your brain will start seeking it. So looking at it today, if you want to become more, you start with programming. Turn on programming. You have to program yourself or reprogram yourself. Once you program yourself, it's going to give you identity. Turn on identity. Identity will give you the capacity to perform the activities. 10 activities for you to have the assets or properties, for you to have the things you want, for you to have the properties you want, the assets you want, the things you want. So if you don't perform the activities, you cannot have the things you want. So it's not about reading, studying, learning more. You must have the right identity, because the way you see yourself is very important in life. If you see yourself like a successful person, you are correct. If you see yourself like a failure, you are correct. If you think you can do it, you are correct. If you think you can't do it, you are still correct. So the moment you start seeing yourself in a certain way, that will now give you the capacity to actually take action. One of the days we were teaching, we said something like, when attitude is right, facts don't matter, right? When attitude is right, fact don't matter. So you look at it today, I want to show you something very important in life. All of us, let's say this is, for you to actually learn more, there's a gap between what you know and what you don't know. There's a gap here. This is a positive or negative. So there's a gap here between what you know and what you don't know. Because if you know everything, you should have everything you want. So there's a gap. So that gap must be filled with learning. They're not learning. So you must fill the gap with everything, because there's a gap between what you want to have and what you don't have right now. There's a gap between what you do. Let me go here. All of them have gap. Like this, all of them have gaps. So I'll tell you the gaps, what it means. Okay, all of them have gaps. There's a gap between the activities you're supposed to perform and the activities you're not performing. There's a gap between what you want in life and what you already have in life. So all of them have gaps. So we're discussing the gaps today. How to fill up the gaps between what is already programmed in your mind. Last time we talked about conscious and unconscious mind, right? Yes or yes? We said a double-minded man is a man who consciously explains what he wants to do, but subconsciously he's acting differently. That means what he says is different from what he's doing. But the only way the subconscious mind is being expressed is by action. Turn on action. The only way you know somebody's subconscious is behavior. Turn on behavior. That means even if somebody is saying something, you watch his behavior. That his behavior is originally who he is, unconsciously. And that one actually controls his results. Turn on results. So if you want to result, you want better, want more love, more peace, more money, you don't have it. There's a gap between what you already have and what you want to have. There's a gap between what you know and what you are yet to know. Yes or yes? So we want to discuss today how to fill up this gap and achieve the reality of a millionaire. Because every millionaire you see, they take advantage of opportunity. It's an opportunity. So now let me tell you something you need to understand. Any opportunity you don't understand, you call it scam. Anything you don't, just like a black man, anything a black man doesn't understand, he call it witches, he call it witchcraft. When the black man did not understand about twins, they called it Obanje. They were killing our twins until Melissa came now. Yes or yes? When a black man doesn't understand malaria, when we were dying of malaria, you know, malaria has killed more black people than HIV itself. So black man did not understand malaria, so he called it Mbofok, you know, he called it witchcraft. He thought that witchcraft came last night, that this guy went to bed, though, there's nothing happened. Wake up this morning, he body on the hot. So you understand? So when a black man don't understand it, he call it scam, witchcraft. He fought. When he doesn't understand, instead of him to seek understanding, tell understanding. He's going to say, okay, why is just like you don't have, you know, a black man easily push blame to God about his financial life, because it's easy to blame God. It's easy to blame circumstances. It's easy to blame. It's not me, it's God. It's not my time. God doesn't want me to succeed now. That I'm not succeeded now. You know, we said that poor people do three things in life. Now, one they do is what? They blame game. Poor people have master's degree, PhD in blame game. They don't blame game. Yeah. Number two, they do what again? Complain. Poor people like to complain. That's that's successful. Poor people like to complain. And actually they do was what? Justification. It's not my fault. Money is not enough. Money is not important. You know, they just try to justify, just to make themselves feel. Instead of saying, no, I really want success. No, I don't like my financial state. No, I can be more than this. No, what do I need to learn? What do I need to learn? What do I need to become? What do I need to do? What kind of result do I need to have? Instead of looking at themselves in these things to see the opportunity, I'm going to show you why a rich man sees opportunity and he takes advantage of opportunity, and a poor man look at that same opportunity and call it a scam and walk out of it. You know, you are successful because of the low opportunity you have seen and taken advantage of. So any opportunity. Okay, let me do like this before we take some notes. And all of us like to take notes in my class, right? They like to take notes. But let me just explain it so that when we are taking the notes, it will just resonate. Yeah, when you are taking the note, it will resonate, okay? Perfect. When you are taking the note, it will resonate. So everybody can become more, everybody can have more. Everybody, you have the capacity to become more. Last time I said, man's capacity to learn is God's gift to man. But man's willingness to learn is a man's choice. So you're the one that made the choice to come out today to add value to yourself. You're the one that said, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer. That's your choice. And whatever you want to become, you have the capacity to learn that. Tailoring, carpentry, you have the capacity to learn. If you say, I want to become a wealthy man, I want to become a millionaire, you have the capacity to learn. And one of the biggest way to learn is to model. Stay around successful people. There's a law says the law of average, the average of 5 of your friends you associate with. Somebody says, when there's a 6 rich wealthy man, you are the 6th one. No, you did not count well. There are 6 wealthy men already. So if you associate with 5 poor men, you are the next one. Somebody says, no, you did not count well. There's already 6 poor men already. So let's look at some of this. Opportunity is here. Here is opportunity. Here is opportunity that makes a rich man rich man. Here is called ingenuity. Ingenuity. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay, ingenuity. Here. I'll explain all of this. So ingenuity, and here we have intentionality. Intentional. Let's put intentional. And here we have learning. Okay. So I will begin to put up the icing on the cake now. So this is called gap here. There's a gap here between this, and there's a gap between what you are supposed to do and what you are not doing already. And there's a gap. We're going to discuss all the gaps today. All the gaps. You're going to close all the gaps in your life from what you want and what you want to achieve. So definitely, for sure. So the only way for you to close this gap between what you know and what you don't know is through learning. It's not learning. So it's only learning that you use to close the gap. So learning helps you close the gap between what you have and what you don't have. There's one of the laws we state one day. We say the law of momentum. It's not momentum. We said that a body will remain in motion in a straight line except acted by another force or external body. Yes or yes? So we said the law of inertia, that the body will remain at rest and continue to be at rest except acted by another force or external force, right? And we said law of polarity. It's not polarity. That means everything has 2 sides. For every negative, there's a positive. So you cannot see one side of a bread. Bread must have 2 sides. You cannot see one side of paper. Paper must have 2. You cannot see one side of a coin. You cannot see one side of anything. That means for any day you wake up, he said today is a positive day. It's just that you focus more on the positive than the negative. He said today is a negative day. That means you focus more on the negative than what? The positive. Every day is good, every day is bad. So it's what you focus on that you can describe your day with. So we always, that day we taught us how to be more focused on the positive part of our life, how to focus more on things. That's what the Bible says. Anything that's of just, of good report, of that virtues, think about these things. Yes or yes? Because God knows that in a day, you look at today and say today is a good weather. Today is an opportunity day. You're gonna have a good weather. You're gonna have an opportunity day. We say, oh, today is a very bad day. It's what you focus on, and the only way we know what you focus is when you say something. Because out of the abundance of the heart, they not do what? Speak it. So the only way you can close the gap between what you know and what you don't know right now is through learning. It's not learning. We said that poverty is a habit. Wealth is what? A habit. Poverty is what? A behavior. Wealth is what? A behavior. You don't pray yourself out of poverty. You learn. You behave yourself into out of poverty or into wealth. So the gap between what you know and what you don't know is through learning. It's not by prayer and fasting. Then between your identity, you must be intentional. Tell me, intentional. A wealthy man focuses more on intention. Poor people focus more on what? Distractions. So, and the ingenuity means that, let's take some notes. I think that's where we need to start taking notes right now. Write this one down. Energy and intention always requires to keep, energy and intention are always required to keep entropy from destroying our momentum. Energy and intention are always required to keep entropy from destroying our momentum. Last time we talked about entropy. We said that entropy is, if you leave anything, it goes back, it goes down. If you have a garden, you don't tender it. Gases take over the garden. So I said energy and intention are always required to keep entropy from destroying our momentum. Entropy. Anything you don't give it, anything you don't use, you lose. Anything you don't act upon, you lose. Anytime you don't use, you lose. Any energy muscle did not develop, you lose the muscles. So entropy, I say energy and intention is always required to keep entropy from destroying our momentum. If I've written that down, shall I? Okay. Definitely. So write this one down too. People always have what we call confirmational bias. People always have what they call confirmational bias or validation bias. People always have confirmational bias or validation bias. People always have what they call confirmational bias or validation bias. That is always looking for any situation to say this is a good or a bad situation. People always have what they call confirmational bias or bracket open validation bias. So they're always looking for someone to validate them. Oh, today is a good guy, this is a good guy, this is a bad person, the government is good. You're always looking, having that bias. People always have what is called confirmational bias, always looking for any situation to say this is good or this is bad. They're always confirmation. There's nothing like good, there's nothing like bad. It's only what you focus on that determines whether it's good or bad. You focus on the positive is good, focus on the negative is bad. Now, one time we discussed what happened to Joseph. That Joseph was sold as a slave to one of the guys that was buying slaves to Egypt. And when he went to Egypt, they now sent him to Potiphar's house. From Potiphar's house, he went to prison. From prison, he went to prime minister. And one day, the father came to him, and the father was saying, "My days is 180 days, and it's full of evil and problem." But Joseph now said, "No, that I thank God that God has blessed me." So because of the way he sees every situation, so you always focus on the positive. So not positive. So if you wake up every day and you say, "Today is a good day," and how do we even know that? Last time I asked us to get what they call thinking chair. Tell not thinking chair or thinking corner. Sit down every day and tell yourself, this day is going to be a good day. And when you say so, you will see it by your action. Tell action. You start writing how you want the day to be. You start writing how the day you want to be. I want the day to be like this. I want the day to be. So you program your day, because human beings are self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you say you want to become great in life, start talking to us every day. I am a great person. I'm a great person. I'm a great person. Start asking people that always have good reports. Not where you go with the backbite, gossip, complain, murmur. That's what poor people do. That's why they are broken poor. And you know, poor people, they like themselves. There's a book you read that they said that the secrets of the millionaire's mind. He said something about poor people resent the rich and wealthy. And if you carry a good car, the guy was talking about his story, how he drove a wonderful car to a poor neighborhood, and they were throwing stone and trying to, one day he took a wreckage dirty car to a poor neighborhood. They were very comfortable with it. And that's one of the reasons why it's not good to always stay around poor people, because they cannot meet up with you, they will drag you down. They have what they call crap mentality. What I call them, crap mentality. So looking at being intentionality or being validation bias, always looking for somebody to tell you, oh, you are handsome, you are beautiful. You don't need all those things. All you need to do, look at yourself in the mirror, appreciate what you have, appreciate who you are. Yes or yes? If you say, if people's opinion don't pay our bills, you don't become rich and wealthy by popular opinion. You become rich and wealthy by discipline. Tell no discipline. That's why wealth cannot be created without discipline. So we look at in the mirror and say, I'm good. What if somebody says he doesn't pay your bills? If I say you're handsome, does he pay your bills? If I say you're not handsome, does he pay your bills? So why do you need my opinion? Because people want people to say, I'm a good guy, I'm a good guy. And if one people's opinion, okay, you cannot satisfy the world. Even Christ was not able to satisfy the world. So any business you are doing, there are people that will say you are good, there are people that will say you are bad. So you're worried about what the people say that are bad. If you want to have people's opinion, you cannot go where you are going to. Not everybody like Dangote. Yes or yes? Not everybody like Samsung. Not everybody like iPhone. Not everybody like Mercedes-Benz. So why are you looking for people's opinion? Just look at yourself and say, this is what I want to do. And once it resonates with your spirit, God, I told you something that will make you live a very purposeful life. I said that once you wake up in the morning, do the three things now. Once you do, you create. You do what again? Connect. You do what again? Contribute. That should be your life. If you wake up every day and think of what to create, who to connect with and contribute to the life positively, you don't need anybody validation. Someone can look at you and say, someone can just look and say, why must you wear white and blue? Why must that's your people's opinion? Because he or she doesn't like white and blue. It reminds him of his secondary school days. They used to flog him, and his uniform was white and blue. So you can so why do you care about people's opinion, right? So let's write some things down. Everyone has a gap in our identity. Everybody has a gap in our identity. And who we are and who we can be. Everybody always have a gap in our identity. That is who we are now and what we can be. And who we can be. Everybody have a gap in our identity. Everything has a gap. That is who we are now and who we can be. Everybody have a gap in our identity. There's a gap in identity. That is who you are now and who you can be. Everybody have a gap in our programming. That is what you are now, what you can be. Everybody have a gap in our activities, what you are doing now, what you can do. Everybody have a gap in their properties, in their opportunities. That's what the properties you have now, what you can have in the future. There's always a gap. There's no gap. There's a gap in identity. There's a gap in programming. There's a gap in activity. There's a gap in a property or the opportunities you have. There's a gap for everything. So who you are now and what you can be, there's a gap. How do you fill up the gap? So To fill up the gap of programming, you need to learn more. Tell not learn more. To fill up the gap in your activity, you need to become more. Tell not become more. You have to be more intentional. To fill up the gap in, of course, in activity, you have to have ingenuity. Let us even take this ingenuity. Okay, let me talk about intentionality, ingenuity, and opportunity. Let's do that. So write this one down. Intentionality is that I am hyper intentional about everything I think about and everything I do. Intentionality is that I am hyper intentional. I am hyper intentional about everything I think about and everything I do. So intentionality is that I am hyper intentional. Hyper intentional. I am hyper intentional about everything I think and everything I do. Intentionality has to do with you being hyper intentional. You have this laser focus about what you are doing now, what you are thinking, and what you intend to do. Intentionality is that I am hyper intentional about everything I think about and everything I do. Full stop. I am purposeful and deliberate. I am purposeful and deliberate. Intentionality has to do with I think everything I'm doing. I'm so purposeful. I am so deliberate. I am so intentional. That's what it means. So you don't just wake up one day and say today's going to be a good day. You jump out of bed. No, sit down first. How do you want to do it today? I told you I got thinking chair. Sit down and think. Where do I want to go today? Because if you sit down to actually calculate, think about the things you need to do in a day. There are some people that deserve 5 minutes. You give them 1 hour normally. So if you know that this person is 5 minutes person, you're going to give it. When the person comes here, okay, you have 5 minutes to start talking. I have other things to do because you're so intentional about your life. Some people come and carry this. Hey, you know about Tinubu? Oh, Man City, Chelsea, and they waste 1 hour of your time wasted because you are not intentional about the things you want to do that day. There are some people that deserve 1 minute. Some people deserve 1 hour. So you don't end up giving someone that deserves 5 minutes 1 hour. I end up giving someone that deserves 1 hour 5 minutes because you have used all your days on things that is not working for you. I said something about write this one down. When I focus on improving my intentionality, everything in my life will improve. When I focus on improving myself intentional, everything about my life will improve. When I focus on improving my intentionality, everything about my life will improve. When I focus on getting more, everything about my life will improve. When I focus on my intentionality, everything about my life will improve. All this haphazard, laziness, distraction is the enemy of intentionality. So the biggest enemy of intentionality is haphazardness, laziness, and distraction. That is the biggest enemy of intentionality. We have this thing called, let me use another marker here, haphazard. Okay? Yeah, in here. Haphazard. Okay, haphazard, laziness, and distractions. Distractions. These are the 3 things that are the biggest enemy of intentionality. Doing things anyhow, haphazard, laziness, and distractions. So doing things anyhow, and in our business, we say, okay, you make up your mind, I'm going to go out today. I said the enemy of okay, which one do you say I should say? I said when I focus on improving my intentionality, everything in my life improve. Haphazard, laziness, and distraction is the enemy of intentionality. We said, okay, if you wake up to your mind today, I'm going to send 20 text messages. I'm going to send 50 text messages. I'm going to make sales calls. I'm going to make 20 sales calls. I'm going to bring product to the value to the society. And then something happened because you were not intentional about yourself. Distraction comes. Distractions. Distractions. So, and you just do only 5. You give excuses why you don't do that. Last time I talked about the excuses are the currency we used to buy failure. Excuses are the nails poor people used to nail their home. Yes. So I said, write this one down again. Intention is anything I focus on that move the needle in my favor. Intention is anything I focus on that move the needle in my favor. Intention is anything I focus on that move the needle in my favor, like reading of books, being honest, being diligent, being educated, etc. Intention is anything I focus on that move the needle in my favor. That's why it's always good to sit down in a day. You want to be a millionaire, sit down and say, I want to really be a millionaire. What is your definition of millionaire? How much do you need to make to call yourself a millionaire? And then what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I said intention is anything I focus on that move the needle in my favor, like reading of books, being more honest, be diligent, be educated, etc. So I am intentional about focusing on the things that make my life better and getting me educated. So intentionality, intention is anything I focus on. Then I'll focus that move the needle in my favor, like reading of books, eating fruit and vegetables, of course, being honest, being diligent, being educated. So if you are focusing on things that move, that work in your favor, that will close this gap of what you have and what you should have, gap of what you know and what you should know, gap of what. So you are being intentional, intentional. So of course, distraction is anything that is moving in the middle, not in your favor. Like of course, watching movie, of course, eating garbage, eating things that is watching movie, television, playing games, and being entertained. Last time we said that poor people want to be entertained, rich men want to be educated. Yes or yes? Now let's take a little note here about ingenuity. So what is ingenuity? Let's look at this. Ingenuity is the ability to observe, analyze, and try new approach. Ingenuity is your ability to observe. Say no, observe. Observe, analyze. Observe and try new approach. And try new approach. And try new approach. That's being innovative. New approach. So, ingenuity is your ability to observe, analyze, and try new approach. So, I will show you what a rich man does. And it's very simple. Very soon we'll close this class. It's not an interesting one. So, ingenuity is the ability to observe, analyze, and try new approach. Ingenuity is your ability to observe, analyze, and try new approach. So you try one thing, it didn't work, try again. Try a different approach, try again. Try something else, try again. Innovate, try again. Innovate, try again. Because sometimes most of the things you do in life don't work the first time you try. The guy that invented the electric bulb tried on Thomas Edison over and over and over again. But one day they met him and said, "You keep trying and did not succeed." He said, "I only find 1,000 ways why it did not work." Instead of say, "I tried 1,000 ways, it did not work for me." No. A lot of us try a business the first time, second time, you are complaining already. It work. I said that what is not working for you is already working on you. What is not working for you is already working on you. Until you become the right person, it will work for you. Just learning how to ride a bicycle. Was it easy the first time you try it? No. The day you learn how to ride a bicycle, was it easy now? Is it easy now? Yes. The day you learn how to drive a car, was it easy? No. Now you learn how to drive a car, is it easy? Yes. The day you went to school, some of us that went to school, we're so excited. And when we went to school and we saw this lecture thing, oh my God, they are here. You know, like NYC. We are so happy to go for this service. But when we went for service, that 3 weeks orientation course was a hell. Someone like me, the first 2 days I was off. But this other was saying, I want to get kaki. I want to get kaki. The kaki said, "Don't tire me to wear." And I think you said, if I see kaki, I don't want to see kaki from around me. Go. You know, I don't want to see kaki again. So the thing is that there's nothing you try the first time, most likely will not work. So if you're not ready to analyze it and try again, then try again. I've seen people that open businesses and they try the first time, it not work, and they say it doesn't work for me. They just conclude, break the table, destroy everything. As if they try fish farming, it didn't work for them the first time. And they just say that it doesn't work. They just conclude that it's a bad business. I've seen somebody that tried poultry farm and the fowl die, like the birds die, they can't have a wheelbarrow. You conclude that the poultry business is, if I even gave me the visa fund, if you know anybody that have BP, advise him not to go to poultry farming. Even advise me. I think if you see people get BP, make him no go to poultry because of what? He doesn't want to have this ingenuity. Ingenuity. Ability to always observe, analyze, analyze, and try a new approach. So if you're not ready to anything you want to do in life, and you're not ready to observe, try a new approach. You might be stuck, getting stuck. Yesterday we talked about getting that human being was not supposed to get stuck in life. The woman is also supposed to do what? Progressively what? How did I put it yesterday? Check your notes now. Progressive what? Progressively productive. When a man is not progressively productive, he's stuck already. Stuck. And there's something about man. Man is either growing or dying. That's the truth. Man was not designed to get stuck. Man will either grow or die. So the day you are green, you start dying. And the day you're ripe, you start dying. If you are green, you keep growing. So the best thing is to be intentional to grow. Be intentional to grow yourself every day. So let's look at one or two things today, and I would like us to write down. Okay, I said, if you are broke and you are watching television, if you are broke and you spend hours watching television and you spend time on distractions, then you are not intentional about becoming successful. If you are broke and you're really doing the negative things, you are broke, you are struggling, you don't achieve the financial life you want, you spend time watching television, you spend time being entertained, you spend time, of course, on the wrong things, you are not being intentional, then you're not ready to become successful. You're not ready to be successful. So when you are struggling in life, the best thing to do is to be intentional. Tell you intentional. Okay. So I would like us to write this one too. If you are working on anything that doesn't work for you, then you have a brain that cannot compete with that thing. If you are working on something that's not working for you, then you have a brain to develop. You have a brain to develop to compete with that situation. You have a brain to develop. If you are working on anything that's not working for you, then you have a brain to develop to compete with that situation. That means anything that's not working for you, you have a brain to think. Develop your brain and think. If you develop your brain and think, that thing will work for you. So if you have anything that you're struggling with, if you have anything that's not working for you right now, then you have a brain to develop. The brain was meant to be developed. You have a brain to develop to compete with that situation. You have a brain to develop. You have anything that's not working for you right now, I want to assure you, you have a brain that needs development. That you have a brain that needs to be invested on, so they can compete with that situation and hopefully we're going to succeed. Because the human brain was meant to be developed. The human brain was meant to be educated. If you have anything that is not working for you right now, you are struggling right now, I want to assure you, you have a brain to develop. You have a brain to develop. Because I always say something, the law of, one of the days we'll talk about the law of opposing force. That is an equal and opposite reaction for everything. So anything that if you say, I want to make 10,000 naira, you always have 10,000 naira opposing force against you. I want to make 1 million, I have 1 million naira opposing force. 1 billion, I have 1 billion naira opposing force. I want to have $10 trillion. The same challenges that will be opposing to it will come. And people that don't understand, when they face the challenge, they quit. You know, you cannot say you want to be successful and you want the universe to just look at you and like that. So you must make up your mind that there will be challenges and I'm going to overcome. The only way to overcome any challenges is to develop your brain. Tell me, develop your brain. One days I was saying that poverty starts in the mind, settles where? In the pocket. Wealth starts in the mind, settles where? In the pocket. There's the way we think. The way we think is looking for opportunity, an opportunity. But if you have not developed yourself, you are not ready to try different approach, you will never have the right opportunity. You see every opportunity like scam, tell us scam. And that's will make opportunity to pass you. And the only way you can be rich and wealthy is to take advantage of opportunity. So write this one down. The millionaire's dollar reality, the millionaire's reality, today is millionaire's reality. The millionaire's reality happens when you start having $1 million training. The millionaire reality happens, the millionaire's reality happens when you start having a millionaire's training or $1 million training. Millionaire's reality happens when you start having $1 million training, being intentional thereby. The millionaire's reality happens when you start having $1 million training, being intentional thereby focusing on the things that get you closer to becoming the millionaire and ignoring distractions. So the millionaire reality happens when you start focusing on the $1 million training, being intentional, thereby focusing on the things that get you closer to becoming a millionaire. The millionaire reality happens when you start focusing on the $1 million training, being intentional, thereby focusing on the things that get you closer to becoming a millionaire and ignoring distractions. The millionaire reality happens when you start focusing on the $1 million training, being intentional, thereby focusing on the things that get you closer to becoming a millionaire and ignoring distractions. It's not a distraction. So all of us have a day that is full of positive and negative. So what we focus on expands. So if you focus on start and stop, start and quit. Quitting doesn't make the journey faster. That's what I can assure you. Quitting never makes the journey faster. If you start something and you stop, it doesn't make the journey faster. So quitting and stop is like pushing a car up the hill, and you're middle of the hill already, and you leave the car, and you say, I want to go and eat, the car will roll back to the beginning. Yes or yes? That when somebody starts anything and it doesn't gain momentum, momentum is only gained when the body is already in motion. For example, now pushing a car that is already standing is difficult the first time you want to push the car. But when the car starts rolling, you start gaining what they call momentum. Turn on momentum. Just like coming to Millionaire School. If you start Millionaire School, the first time it's going to be difficult coming to Millionaire School, 8 to 9. It's like difficult. You can say, okay, I want to come once in a week. I want to come 3 times in a week. The day you start giving an excuse, you now start a new pattern for yourself. Just like saying, I want to start reading, I want to start investing in my life every day and read at least 30 minutes in a day and write. It's going to be difficult. But if you keep doing that, you enter into what they call momentum. Turn on momentum. But if you stop it and you go and start again, it's most likely going to be difficult. You start giving excuses. Go like him again. You say, okay, I'm going to send text in a day I'm going to make sales calls today. I'm going to make 50 calls every day, and you are very intentional about it. You went to your mentor and put consequences. Turn on consequences. It's a mentor. This month of September, I want to make 1 million naira. Look at my strategy here. My strategy is that I'm going to wake up in a day. I'm going to make 50 calls. I'm going to send 20 text messages. I'm going to do follow up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. If I don't do this, my penalty is 1,000, 10,000, 50,000. Your mentor said, yes, I'm going to hold you responsible. You are very serious. You are very intentional about yourself. And you start every day, you wake up and do this. Now, what I will tell you that there's an equal and opposite reaction that will come and give you an excuse. Maybe someday rain just fall to make excuse. But if you are so intentional about your life, you enter and say, I must do it. See, when there is, I said something, I said, we don't see with our eyes, we see with our mind. One of the way the mind sees is our eyes. If your mind sees the possibility, your eyes will see the opportunity. If your mind does not see the possibility, your eyes will not see the opportunity. If rain fall, that's the best time to prospect. You can go to Tropicana, and if people are standing, they want the rain to stop. It's the right time to prospect, because you're always looking at the positive part of everything in life, not looking at the part of negative. Every day has positive and negative. It's what you focus that determines the most important thing. Last time we said, I repeat myself again, when intention, what I say is, when attitude is right, fact don't matter. The fact is that the rain is falling, things are not working, the economy is not going the way you want it, dollar increment, subsidy removal. That's the reality, that's the fact, right? But if your intention is, if your attitude is what? Right. What is attitude? The way you feel or think about something. So if your attitude is right, I'm feeling that I'm the greatest guy. Nigeria is opportunity for me. It's an opportunity. Okay, the high chance that you succeed is going to be there. Yes or yes? But if you're not looking at the negative part of life, you're going to demoralize yourself. One day we talk about something that gives you procrastination and what? Procrastination and what? Power to take action. We say it depends from the way you see things. That determines the way you think, that put the feelings and motivation in your heart, that gives the power to your body to either make you powerless to procrastinate or power to take action, to action. So if you know that you are the one that will perform the activities to have the result, then you don't need to complain. You don't need to blame your father. You don't need to blame your mother. You don't need to blame the government, because all those things don't really matter. If you are very intentional about yourself, you perform the activity. The result is activities. They're not activities. People don't want to perform that. So it's easy to blame God. So because God, that's why I'm not successful. Easy to do that. If you perform the activities, you get the result. The universe is giving. It's like the law of sowing and reaping. Yes or yes? So today, what are the activities you want to perform to make you 10,000, 50,000? What are the activities you want to perform? Who is your accountability partner? Who is your mentor? Who is guiding you on the process? So you need to be very intentional to have the reality of a millionaire. So let's take 1 or 2 more before we call it a day. Okay, we have 7 minutes more to close today's class. Okay, let me take 1 or 2 notes with you guys, and then so that we can call it today. Okay. Write this one down. Until you fill your programming gap by learning, 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 then you will see the need to fill your identity gap by being intentional. Until you fill your programming gap by learning, you see the need to fill your identity gap by being intentional. Until you fill your programming gap by learning, until you fill your programming gap by learning, then you see the need to fill your identity gap by being intentional, to perform the activities with ingenuity that will give you the property through opportunity. I come back again. Until you fill your programming gap by learning, until you fill your programming by learning more, you will see, until you fill your gap by programming gap by learning more, then they will see the opportunity to fill your identity gap by being intentional, to become more, to perform the activities with ingenuity, to be more, to do more, by having the property through opportunity to have more things in life. No, look at the board now. Look at the board. Look at the board first. Look at the board first. Look at the board first. Don't write here. Just look at the board. Look at the board. Just give me 1 minute. You'll see right. Until you fill your programming gap by learning more, I get him now. You will see the need to fill your identity gap by being intentional to be more. Then you will see the opportunity to create the activities by being through ingenuity to do more, by having the property through opportunity to have more. Definitely. So if you connect it like that, it's going to make more sense to you. So I don't know how you're going to write it right now. You start from here, you come down, you go up, right? You start until you fill your programming gap by learning more, right? You see the opportunity to fill your identity gap through intentionality to be more. And then you see that you have the power to take the activities through ingenuity to do more. Then you can have more property through the opportunities to have more. So you can see that. So you come from here down, up, come from here down, up, come from here down, up, come from here down, up. So I think when you connect the dot like that, it's going to make a lot of sense for you. Or you want me to still read it? I'm reading. Again, read it small, so you can write. Until you fill your programming gap by learning more, right? Till you have the opportunity to fill your identity gap by being intentional to be more. Let's take it one by one. Until you fill your programming gap by learning more, then you have the opportunity to fill your identity gap by being intentional to be more. Then you can now take the activities through ingenuity to do more. Definitely. And then you can have more property through the opportunities to have more. It's simple that way. So we can conclude that way today. And then we can call it a day. Okay, let me come back again. Until you fill your programming gap, everything has gaps now. We defined that already. Between what you have and what you don't have, between what you know and what you need to know. Until you fill your programming gap by learning more, you have the opportunity to fill your identity gap by being intentional to be more. You have the opportunity to fill your identity gap by being intentional to be what? More. And you can perform the activities through ingenuity, that is observe, analyze, try new opportunities to do more. That is what gives you the activities to do that. Then you can have the properties through opportunities of having more. So that is a good one. So if you learn something today, shall I? We can stop here today because it's already 9 o'clock here. I should repeat myself again. Okay, let's do it again. Don't worry, I understand. Until you fill your programming gap by learning more, you have the opportunity to fill your identity gap through intentionality to be more. Then you can perform the activities through ingenuity to do more. And then you can have the properties through opportunities in life to have more. That is the millionaire's reality. The reality is that we know that for us to have more, you have to do more. And for you to do more, you have to become more. And because wealth does not exceed your personal development. And for you to do more, you have to learn more. Because the more you know, the better you become. Okay? I think I don't need to repeat myself. If you don't understand, copy from your neighbor. Copy is allowed. If you learn something in today's class, the eye is so weak. The eye is begging for the charge card. If you learn something today, that one is still begging for the charge card. Okay, you can do more right now. You can do more, right? You can do more. If you can do more, just encourage me. If you learn something today, Okay, let me conclude again by saying this way. Everything in life has gaps. No gap. Everything has gap. From your programming, it has a gap to your identity. You have a gap to activities. You have a gap to property. You have a gap. So you need to fill up those gaps you fill up this gap by learning. You fill up this gap by being intentional. You fill up this gap by through ingenuity. You fill up property gap by having opportunity. It's an opportunity. Opportunity. So the only way it can work for you is to overcome entropy. It's an entropy. To overcome entropy, you have to be intentional. Yes or yes? So to overcome being paralyzed, being complaining, you have to have ingenuity, and then you have the opportunity. So the only way this thing can work for you need a mentor. Tell a mentor. You need a mentor. Somebody have achieved what you want to achieve. You can do the business part-time. Tell part-time. You can do it spare time. Tell spare time. Just the more activities you perform, that will give you more opportunity for you to have results. Tell results. Everybody wants results in life because results cancel insult. Yes or yes? Results cancel insult. Yes or yes? Okay, if you learn something today, you want to contribute, can I see your hands up? Okay, let's hear from Istema. What do you learn today? What's your take home today?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today I've learned that if you are broke and you spend time watching television, you won't has finished.
So spend time to educate yourself. Don't be entertained. Yes or yes? Poor people want to be entertained. Wealthy men want to be educated. Yes or yes? What do you learn today? What's your take home today?
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
What I take home today is if there's anything you agree, then you cannot meet up, you cannot catch it up. Develop your brain. Try it and at last you succeed because the brain will made to develop. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The brain, what's your take home today? Your brain was meant to be developed, okay? Good morning.
Anything that I don't understand, I always ask.
Yes.
So for me to understand, I need to learn.
You need to learn.
By the time I learn, I'll understand And so anything that you see that you don't understand, let it be.
Yes. Before you call it a Sam, analyze, investigate. Okay.
Good morning, all.
Morning.
I've learned that one of my millionaires reality will be that my activities will give birth to my results.
Yes, your activity will give birth to your results. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This morning I learned that to fill the gap, I need to become money. And I also learned that the leader is going off that expectation.
Thank you so much. What have you learned today? Who has learned something today? What's your take home today? Okay.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Today I've learned that I should be intentional about everything.
Okay.
I should try to observe, analyze, and try to things.
Try. Thank you
And
again.
to have a millionaire reality, I need to try new things. I need to do the things that get me close to gain more and then avoid distraction.
Avoid distractions.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Okay.
And feeling the knowledge fast.
It doesn't make the journey fast. You proceed. Just keep asking your question, what is not working, and find out what works and keep innovating. What have you learned today? Amango, you want to share with us? Seriously? Okay.
I learned that until I feel my programming gap by learning more,
Uh-huh.
then I have the opportunity to feel my identity gap by being intentional
Yes.
to do more.
Yes.
And set the activities to ingenuity to do more.
Yeah.
And have the property to opportunity to have more.
Perfect. That's a good one. Who has learned something today? Want to share with us? You learned something today? Okay. What's your take home today?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I learned that what I focus on is my responding.
Yes. 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 Thank you so much. What's your take home today? You learned something today? You want to share with us? Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today I learned that if I'm broke and I'm still watching TV, playing around, that means I'm not intentional about being successful.
Yes.
To be successful, I need to intentionally take that positive action and focus on negative things in my life.
Thank you so much. What did you learn today?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We learn everything starts from the inside out.
Mm.
So if I want to grow, I need to start from my mind.
Yes. Thank you so much. What's your take home today?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. What's your take home today? Everybody wants to have more.
Mm.
Good morning. Thank you so much. What's your take home today?
Mm.
Do more. You have more. And to do more.
Thank you so much. What's your take home today? Sharp now. We put on the upgrade once more. And the first time now, what do you expect? Okay, thank you so much. Queen Anne, what did you learn today?
Good morning, partner.
Good morning.
I learned that everybody has a gap.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a gap where you are now
And where you want to be.
So it's now meant for you to be intentional, get you where you want to be.
Okay, so what did you learn today? What's your take home today? Okay, thank you so much, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
One of the things I taught while we were meeting is the capacity of your brain determines or is directly proportional to your gains in life.
Bagam, the more you develop the brain, the more you're going to gain. You don't develop your brain, you cannot gain. And your brain has the capacity to be developed. So develop it through training, through knowledge, through education.
If you are working on something that is not working for you right now, you have a brain to develop.
Yes, you have a brain to develop. What are they come today? Good morning.
I say that when I focus on improving my intentionality,
Yes.
everything about my life improves.
Yes, everything about your life will improve. Okay, what's your take home today?
Good morning, millionaire.
Good morning.
I think that the millionaire reality happens when I start having a $1 million training.
Yes. Yes.
I focus on the things
Sure.
that get me close and reach the millionaire.
Yes.
Ignoring distraction.
Ignoring distractions. Good morning.
Anything I need to learn, to do, and have is become experience.
Yes.
And that gap has to be what I have to say.
Yes.
And being intentional.
Yes.
Humility,
Yes.
and learning how to process it.
Sure.
So we got to feel it.
Yes.
Speak and tell our God.
I know you know take it easy. So who has learned something here today to tell it us? Or there's one more, two more. So what's your take home today?
Thanks, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I know that the crux of the matter is spiritual training.
Yes.
And whatever I have said,
Mm.
so learn
Yes.
and
manifest.
Yes, whatever you observe through learning, you can manifest. Yeah, thank you so much. Hello, I'm Good morning.
I've learned this morning that we should do well to stay with our mental eyes.
Yes.
I'm able to see possibilities with my mental eyes.
Yes.
Definitely, I'll see the opportunity.
With your physical eyes. Thank you. Give her the mic.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
I've learned today.
So sorry.
I've learned today that my commitment to be positive is determined and progress today.
Yes.
In order for me to be committed, I need to learn more, remove that identity, remove that activity, then I'll have.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That will be the end of our class today. So tomorrow, tell you what, tomorrow, 8 o'clock on the dot, to start another important training. It's going to blow your mind. I can assure you that. If you come into tomorrow's class, you will never regret attending tomorrow's Millionaire School. So we just take our affirmation and then we call it a day. So let us take our affirmation this morning. Let's carry the